Today, I'm recreating poses from one of the X-Men's best mutants, the Wolverine. I'll be pulling inspiration from things like X-Men 97, comics, video games, and I'll do it all with this MAFEX action figure. Let's suit up, grab our accessories, and let the challenge begin. So posing can sometimes be simple and sometimes feel a bit complicated, so for our first pose, I'm gonna warm us up with this shot from X-Men Volume 2, Issue 11. This iconic cover from Jim Lee features Wolverine among other team members with his claws out. To ensure an accurate appearance, we'll equip his right hand with some claws and we'll be set. Ultimately, I wanted to give the figure a natural stance that matches the look of the cover. The upper body was easy to match since I had reference, but I did need to get creative with the lower half since it is invisible. While working on this pose, I made sure to use as many joints as possible to prevent any rigid appearance to this pose, and here's how it turned out. As I was going through the pages of this comic, I found this fantastic action shot where Wolverine is lunging forward with both claws equipped. This shot really caught my attention, so let's give it a shot. First, let's get these beefy arms out of the way and start posing the legs. Upon close inspection, we'll see that the left thigh is barely visible and the right thigh is exposed at an angle. It'll be very important to capture that, especially since this shot is front facing and we must match things up as best possible. With the legs taken care of, we can work on the head and arms. In this pose, it's crucial to have the arms not only bent, but also twist the hands in an outward direction, especially the right fist. For the final touch, I'll switch Wolverine's expression to have his teeth gritted, while having him look forward as much as possible. With a few more adjustments here and there, our second pose is complete. For the past 50 years, many artists have had the privilege of illustrating Marvel's iconic character, and when searching for poses for this video, I discovered an upcoming comic cover for Wolverine Deep Cut, releasing in July this year. Now, I may or may not have picked this pose for its similarities to that one Willem Dafoe pose that always makes me laugh. This pose was relatively easy to recreate. I just needed to have the figure do splits, hunch his back over, and his claws angled at the sides of his face. It is nice that this action figure is designed with butterfly joints because that lets us bring the arms in closer toward the chest like we see in the pose. Unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know Wolverine has been getting a lot of buzz in both movies and television, especially in 2024. We're just months away from Deadpool and Wolverine, and season 1 of X-Men 97 just ended. With X-Men 97 being some of the best work Marvel has released yet, I had to show it some love in this video. So let's start with Wolverine's pose from this group shot, which is actually inspired by a moment from the X-Men comic I used at the start of the video. With this pose, I'll be unmasking our hero to reveal that scruffy look of his. I feel that MAFEX does a solid job with their selection of accessories, and this drooping cowl piece is a great example of that. Now that we have this figure set up, let's start posing. My goal with this pose is to capture that relaxed look where he's leaning on his right knee. I think I captured the look of the pose as closely as possible, but let me know what you think. One of my favorite moments when watching X-Men 97 was the Sentinel fight.
Give him the forecast.
And there's a scene where Wolverine gets thrown by a Sentinel and lands while sliding back. I am curious if this figure is capable of doing this pose, so let's give it a shot. I need to sell the look of the crouch, and to do that, we need to put a lot of these joints to work. After making some final changes to the left leg, here's how the shot looks. While looking through the pages of X-Men Volume 2, Issue 9, I found this epic shot of Wolverine leaping forward at these creatures known as the Brood. I just love the action and rage that this pose demonstrates. It truly embodies the spirit of the character. And to do this pose right, I bent the legs, arched his back, and then repositioned the arms and claws until they matched the pose. The only thing left to do was tilt Wolverine's head down and twist the head a little bit here and there to bring the look together. Usually at this point of the video, I'd be doing a speed round, but instead of me doing it, I'm going to call in a favor from friend and talented figure poser, the Lethal Collector. If you've never seen his work, it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, this guy could pose a random stick on the ground and it looks good. Like, really good. I challenged him to recreate 5 poses of his choice, and here's what he picked. Now I did mention recreating video game poses in this video, and one of my favorites Wolverine has been in is the Marvel vs. Capcom series. One of the poses I like most is the one from his Weapon X move. When it comes to this pose, it's all about getting the feet spread out very far, having Wolverine crouch low, and placing the arms over each other to form an X. I do wish this figure could capture the look a bit better, especially with the legs, but it's not too bad. But you all watching, let me know what you think of it, and also, if you want to see a review of this figure, comment SNICK down below. In addition to X-Men 97, there was also a prelude comic released. Looking at the cover, we can see the other members of the X-Men team along with Wolverine dashing with them. We'll begin by moving the arms out of the way so we can freely get Wolverine's legs in a dashing position. Once that part is finished, let's get those arms bent and claws ready to pierce some sentinels. After some minor adjustments to his feet, Wolverine is ready to rumble. Another 50th anniversary comic that caught my attention was this one featuring Wolverine and Nightcrawler. Unfortunately, I don't own an action figure for that character, so excuse me while I sit here in bed and mope. However, what I still have is this epic Wolverine figure, so let's go ahead and see if we can recreate this shot. For our final pose of the video, let's do another one from a team up, but I'll recreate both poses. I've chosen this shot from the cover of Wolverine Volume 2, Issue 87. I own a Gambit figure from MAFEX, which I've reviewed on the channel, and it'll be perfect for this. Starting with Wolverine, we need to show him dashing forward with his claws equipped. With Wolverine taken care of, it's time to pose our Gambit figure. We'll have him kicking forward while holding his staff next to Wolverine. The most important factor in recreating this was giving the coattails a windswept look and having the arms pulled back with the staff. However, I will say the arms were a bit tricky for this pose just because of the coat's fabric and how it gets in the way, but I think I got it to work. Here's how the recreation turned out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one where I recreate Spider-Man comics with action figures, or watch this playlist featuring every video in this series. I'll be back with more action figure goodness, but until then, peace.